I finally concluded this series, the childhood series that made many a kid read, that made many a kid want to be filmmakers, that made want many of us to escape to a fantasy realm, get into Dungeons and Dragons, read The Lord of the Rings, have many rip-off movies, including The Curious Case of Billy Owens that stars wrestler Rowdy Roddy Piper and so much other stuff. A truly phenomenal juggernaut of a series that the author caused divisiveness because of what she said, and I don't want to get into that. So, wow, 17, 18 hours later, roughly a week and a half, I finally finished it. How do I feel about the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 in the franchise and revisiting the childhood? Deathly Hallows Part 1. It goes on and on and on. There is way... Okay. It was going to originally be one part, but it was going to be 5 hours and 26 minutes. Way too long for a movie. Even freaking, what is that? Lord of the Rings was shorter, and even D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation was shorter. So it just would have been one of the longest movies ever created. Jeez, oh Pete. I think, anyway. Alright, some parts about the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Alright. 1. The villain wins for a while. I'd say roughly 6 months or so, which is interesting to see. A total takeover of the Ministry of Magic. And we actually get to see the Malfoy family members disgraced in their own home because Voldemort took over, is gaining strength, and we actually get to have some screen time with them. Good. We actually get to see Ralph Fiennes have some gosh darn screen time and just be an evil man. And for a while, our heroes are on the run, the Golden Trio. And we get some good dramatic acting, especially from Ron, because he feels isolated from the group, because he thinks that Harry and Hermione are falling in love, and he's developing affections for Hermione. And he's also got this radio that he is listening to, see if any of his family is missing, and it causes some dissension between him and Harry. So that's I like this. I like to see the stakes they're going on. So they're going around looking for food, and it works so gosh darn well, And, we get some beautiful cinematography, some nice lakes, some beautiful rocks for some reason. The Forest of Dean. It all looks nice, And Godric's Hollow is a particular beauty when it's snowing out, when it's snowing out, and it just looks so holiday-ish, I guess. I mean, it even takes place on gosh darn Christmas Eve. So, the best times to watch this are when it's cold outside, because some of these movies do get cold. This is not a fun movie. This is kind of a depressing movie. It really is. The tone, it's just so... It's not nihilistic or bleak, but it does get kind of bad. It's just wow, You just look at it, and it's the total takeover of the Ministry, missing people, just... Oof. There's also this guy named Bill, Nighy, Nate, which is Bill Nye, not the science guy, who gives a good, powerful performance in the beginning, and about when he goes and visits wherever it was. I'm he's got some power. He's got a powerful presence, and the books describe him as having a lion's mane, and he does have an intimidating look, trying to clean up what that moron Cornelius Fudge was doing. So, yeah. There's a wedding that is planned, and it's one of the last happy moments that we get in the franchise, because it's then the Ministry falls from this giant orb that Kingsley sends, and it's just interesting to look and see, and the ministry has fallen, and you could tell that that Voldemort was strategically going to perform a coup de grace on it, a takeover, whatever you want to call it. That's the good part. The bad part, though, oof, it drags on and on with the isolation. So much. Just, it's 2 hours and 29 minutes. It is so long. And so much, like, I don't know. It just really just feels incomplete in a way. Because it's like, it's complete and then incomplete at the same time. And unfortunately, it drags down. Like, out of all the movies that feel long, this is arguably the one that feels the longest and drags the most, because there's so much time where they're just going from one set to another, having some talk about in a tent, going by a trailer park and other stuff like that. It's just slow. It's slow and it's boring and prodding, you know? And I'm like, can we please get to some action? Please. It's just, it easily could have cut 20 minutes of the isolation. Yes, yes, there is good drama with it, but not like at least 3 or 4 separate instances of just stuff. I'm like, I don't like this. Please stop doing this. Show something else. And it's just, it just drags everything down, you know. And the death of Peter Pettigrew, which in the books, the silver hand that he has, because he's kind of a coward, acts as kind of like a monitor in case if we were to ever go against Voldemort's words or would strangle him to death. Here he just gets knocked out with a little spell, ow, and then faints. I'm like, really? That's it? You couldn't at least do something in between, like have the hand bitch slap him to death? I don't know. That would have been at least kind of funny. So, I don't know. Anyway, some of the other good, I guess. Oh yeah, the Tale of the Three Brothers with the stunning animation, which I found as a reference to a 1926 movie called The Adventures of Prince Achman. Absolutely stunning to look at, beautiful, enticing, bewitching, just amazing. The guy who plays Xenophilius Lovegood, who was in one of the DC movies, pretty gosh darn good. Good acting, a man who's desperate who's trying to keep it all together, but when his daughter Luna gets kidnapped, it's like, yeah, he's kind of a little disheveled, I guess. So I don't know. I guess I placed this one above the Half-Blood Prince, below Goblet of Fire. So I don't know. I have some massive issues with the isolation. Deathly Hallows Part 2, though, is a phenomenal way to end the series. Arguably, truly, one of the best blockbuster movies that can appeal to anyone in the 2010s. I mean, it is a fantastic, phenomenal way to end it. Everything truly gets resolved, alright? First, the climactic battle. It's epic. Truly epic, taking place in Hogwarts Castle. It's like having the knights come in, having Voldemort's massive amount of minions, his army, whatever, the trolls. This is how a proper franchise should end. It's like all the people return. You got all the professors that return. You got all the Horcruxes being destroyed. You got Aberforth, Dumbledore, who plays who's very cynical, but he hasn't exactly given up yet. So he's kind of there. He's got some good screen time, and we got the ghost of Rowena Ravenclaw, excuse me, as they've got. It's like the dialogue is impactful, okay, and to return to some scenes. We get to return to the Chamber of Secrets, which we just get to see the basilisk skeleton. Hey, still lying here. Yeah, I mean, it's just It's done perfectly in 2 hours and 2 minutes. This is the This is the true finale. And just watching it, it's like so many set pieces, action pieces that just is absolutely incredible. That just, you're like, this is just the perfect way to end it. The Horcrux is being destroyed, and just even breaking into Gringotts with a dragon it's a thrill. I will say that. It is a gosh darn thrill. And you're just like, there's the emotional scenes with Harry meeting with his parents. There's all the deaths that happen. There's just the intense action, especially with Nagini being a threat. There's Snake's redemption, which a lot of people were not aware of until the 7th book, except for Alan Rickman, who was not disappointed. I had to do that little joke. Anyway, go and see it. It's amongst one the best. I mean, it's the best of the entire franchise. That's all I'm going to say, okay? I mean, so it's like, if I had to rank them, bottom would have to be, I mean, these are all fantastic films, but like I said, I pointed out the flaws in them, and I will say certain, and it's like, y'all go watch the reviews. I briefly summarize each one of them. Half-Blood Prince, boring, too much romance that was not done right, and just felt it just didn't work out. Deathly Hallows Part 1, isolation and just too long. Goblet of Fire, tonally inconsistent, but when it's good, it's good. I would say Chamber of Secrets, underrated, needs to be cut down. Mystery is great. Prisoner of Azkaban was the growing that the movie franchise needed. Hermione gets too much screen time for parts that were meant to be for Ron. Sorcerer's Stone, fantastic introduction to the world. Some of the CGI has not aged well. Order of the Phoenix is the I forgot what I said that was bad about it. It's still a powerfully fantastic movie though, and of course, ranking number 1 is Deathly Hallows Part 2. Freaking fantastic movie. So that's how I would rate them. And with that, I make that to the 12-year-old self, the teenage self of mine who watched it. I hope that was done justice, and and to the 32-year-old who watched it for, we're drinking Dragon's Milk beer. They're like, yep, here you go. Here's my tribute to the franchise. So, will I do this again? Maybe. I don't know. Will I watch The Lord of the Rings? Most likely, but there's something else. But in the meantime, what's next, you may ask? All right. Stripes. Risky business since I saw Top Gun. The Old Man in the Sea from the 1950s. Turner and Hooch. Minority Report. Short Term 12. What's this one? Cujo. Stephen King. Moon. Maybe Starship Troopers Invasion. I've got the DVD of the actual movie coming in. And surprisingly, Weird Science. So, reviews come when they come, depending on, free time, because the full-time job and everything. So, yeah. So, there's the wrap up on the franchise, my thoughts on the Deathly Hallows movie and what's to come. So, take care and keep watching movies.